So I thought I would do a classic sophisticated makeup for a wedding or an event. Maybe you're mother of the bride, maybe you're guest, maybe you're the bride. It doesn't matter. If you're wearing a beautiful, striking gown, how do you best do your makeup to match that? Simple and feminine is what I would say. So I've selected a few little colour palettes and a few textures just to kind of give you a bit of a guide, and hopefully that's helpful because it is the season of lovely celebrations, I'm hoping. Okay, so first things first, I've got my skincare on, I've got my SPF on, but I will always use a little bit of hyaluronic acid just before I start my makeup. This will just give my skin, which is very dry, a little bit of longevity throughout the day, so I don't have to worry too much about it. Sometimes if I'm wearing a slightly heavier base, my skin doesn't necessarily look dry, but it just feels so dry. So I find putting a little bit of hyaluronic on first really makes a difference. My favourite setting spray is one by the beautiful Vive. And I'm going to use this first and waft it down, and to finish off, not to break up or add hydration to my skin, but just to create that longevity. I'm also going to use my eyeshadow potion from Urban Decay because I just want my makeup to last all day and I don't want to have to think about it or worry about it. So I thought I'd go through a few steps with you first. That would be enough for me. Okay, so there's my setting spray, but I will use a little bit of primer. And the By Terry, is it called a Hyaluronic Hydra Primer, will just smooth out the T-zone, I've already got the base on my hand, the T-zone area of my face, just to minimise pores and allow that foundation that I'm going to wear to last even longer. Now I prefer to apply it after my setting spray, this particular one, because I want to get that as my final layer to smooth my skin before I put the base on. Just put it over my and around my lip area, but just where my skin is irregular, bigger pores, it's quite nice to use a primer like this that feels nice and has got a lovely ingredient for dry skin. Now for my base, it's going to be a Luminous Silk Giorgio Armani. It's a classic base, dewy enough, heavy enough, and the colours are great. My shade is 5.5 and I'm going to put it on straight away with my fingers, because I want to get it really into my skin. And I'm going to do the heaviest part of it around my T-zone area. And you can feel that my fingers are almost slightly vibrating as I'm putting it on. Definitely going to go back in with a brush, but because I've got these lovely primers and setting sprays on my skin, very different to how I would normally do it, you can see how the makeup is gripping really quickly. Takes this off with a brush, which is great. That's what I want. I want a really lovely, grippy, beautiful surface for my base to go on to initially. And the T-zone area of my face is where I've got a lot of irregularity in terms of like skin tone, redness, etc. So that's what I'm going to target first, and I'm going to come around and target with the flat brush these areas here before we sort of start buffing it in. I love that these come in smaller sizes. It's great for me at work, but I think even for the average person, the big bottles are so big. So the little bottles, it lasts for so long, you just need a tiniest drop. It's actually quite lovely that it's another sunny day here in London, because that also helps with the makeup application, that you don't end up overdoing too much shine. Right, so much heavier base than you would normally see me wearing. So obviously at first it feels like all my features are disappearing, which they are. But then we'll go in with a concealer. Because I've got a medium foundation on, I'm going to go in with a slightly lighter concealer in terms of texture wise. I don't need anything as heavy as maybe like the Hourglass that we talked about the other week, because I've got that coverage within the Giorgio Armani. So I'm putting that across like that, and I'll be blending these two shades together. Sorry, these 2 points of concealer together. Again, just to really neutralise and knock out any uneven tone. It's light enough to sit on my skin around my eyes without it looking sort of heavy. Buffing it in with a light brush so I'm not moving it too much. If I would go in, say, with like a really heavy, firm brush like this, let me just show you. See? It takes it away. I don't want this to be taken away. I want it to stay. So the nice light touch of a brush makes all the difference. And so often I see, you know, the heavy kind of kabuki style or dense brushes going in to the face, and you just think, oh, you've just spent all that time sorting out that skin, and now you've just taken it off. Funny things we do without thinking. I think that's what happens a lot. But if you do find that you've done too much, these brushes are brilliant. So maybe I've done too much around the nose, or I've got it caught in my eyebrows. I'm being very light, but you can be quite firm with it, and it will just remove any excess. So these are great for kind of removing stuff when you need it to be removed, nothing else. Right, so there we go. Let me see how we're at. Happiness so far. I'm going to warm up the skin with a little bit of the Anastasia. Really beautiful bronzing butter. It's a lovely colour, this. And I'm just going to start adding a little bit of warmth around my hairline and putting it almost back in to where I've taken it out, where it's more dappled, and making it a little bit more smooth and caramel-like. Backwards and forwards, it blends like an absolute dream. Nice. All the time I'm looking to the colour of my neck and chest and face to making sure that is connecting. Now my base was a little bit lighter, but I didn't mind that because I knew I'd be warming it up and I wanted everything else to kind of blend in together. But if you can get ready in what you're wearing so that you could see the neckline to make sure that your skin sits flawlessly, that is perfect. Let me use the little concealer sticks from Lisa Eldridge to knock back these further pigmentation spots. Normally, as you well know, I can't be bothered. I just choose not to look at them, but because I want everything to look a-okay, this is quite nice to have in your makeup bag for little bathroom touch-ups. Takes no space in the makeup bag. I don't know, there's something quite delicate and lovely about touching it up. Touching up your skin with this beautiful white pencil. Trust Lisa to make like concealing like a beautiful thing. Okay, fine. Let us fix and groom the brows. Get those straight on. I've got a really beautiful eye palette to show you. Take those, and I'm going to use the side because I want to create a nice bit of density and I'm going to stretch out there so I get a nice, oopsie, a nice soft, subtle shape to my brow. Not one that is too thin, just a nice little bit of thickness. It finishes quite delicately on the tail. And just almost blurring and adding that shape in. Nice. Backwards and forwards, strengthening that up. Lovely. Okay. Right, I'm going to go in with primer. Now, I don't go too heavy on this because I've already got the concealer over the lids, but I like it just over the centre. My mum loves this product too. And you blend it quickly because, again, it sets and creates that kind of almost like soft Velcro base for you to pop your colour on. This just also gives you a chance to remove maybe any excess lines of concealer or foundation because you want that to be super smooth. So, MUA Makeup Academy. This is what I found for you guys, always in my mind. This shade is Desert Bloom. So you haven't opened it yet. Oh God, here we go. Doesn't the packaging drive you mad? It's just a little bit of tape, I think. Like a cheeky little opener over here. We're going to have to bust another nail opening it. Oh, no, we're nearly there. And patience isn't one of my virtues. Okay, look how beautiful these are. So you've got those soft kind of like rosy nudes and a little bit of metallic. And I thought, if you're doing something special and it's sort of outdoors and indoors, these are such a lovely colourways for lots of different skin tones. I think it's really beautiful. I love this kind of more nudie one, more pinky one, and the soft peaches. They're very nice. Let's see how they blend. So I'll probably go back in with the same brush, and let's start with the slight iridescent first. Let's go light where I want to create the light the most. Oh, okay, nice. Pretty good. I thought that would be very sparkly and I wouldn't see anything, so that has given me confidence. Just take that off my hand because I think I loaded that up too much. With these brushes, you can load up too much pigment, and if you're working with a metallic one like this, you can then quickly overdo it and then have it all over your beautiful base that you've just spent ages doing. I'm going to leave that brush and go in with a lovely soft rose first. Nice. The reason I changed brushes is because I didn't want to get too much of the sparkle on the matte shade because I will blend them together. Oh, this is nice. It's a very sort of, it's a colour that you wouldn't necessarily think about using. I'm just getting my blending brushes. But once blended together, it's so lovely. So if you're someone who uses a lot of browns and greys, opt for something that's more sort of bricky pink. Blend those together with a clean brush. That's the key thing. So you get a nice soft blend, but you've still got the differentiation of the colours. And most importantly, the textures, right? So we're going to do literally just a stripe down half the lid. And blend that in. It sits really well on the Urban Decay primer. and then back into the socket, always making sure so it's blended down quite a lot, as you can see. So the colour pigment is there, but it also blends nicely. So again, it's a bit like putting on that heavier foundation. Go for it and then blend it back. Nice. Okay, let me take an actual bud. We'll go in with the matte sort of grey tone, and I'm going to run that along my lash line and into my socket. I'm not using the baby bud in this instance because I want to really jam pack that pigment in. Bring it round. Nice. Go back in and really soften that shade. Always start deep and then soften and blur out. That's so nice. It's just trying to get that juxtaposition of the makeup working beautifully in the daylight and beautifully on photos. Perfect. Happy with that. Okay, good. Let me go back in with the actual bud to create a nice... I've probably ever done that, typical. Let's just stretch that round. Can blend it out. You can see I've just put a little bit too much on there. It's always good to tip your head back to get a nice socket view. And blend that through to push that space back. That is so nice. Now I'm not going to put any colour underneath. I'm just going to put a few lashes, as in mascara. Because I want it to look fresh underneath, and I really find that nowadays my eyes look much better if they're made up from the top and not to the bottom, because it drags it down. I'm going to curl my eyelashes first, just to give them a super lift, and again do that two curly squidge along so you get a nice bend. Careful not to pinch my skin. Ouch, that would be awful. And another little up the hair shaft and bend. Good. Okay, I'm going to go in with a long comb. Deficils. It's not, no, sorry, it's the Flutter extension. So it's got a great thin brush. I love that. And it doesn't move. So it's different to the Maybelline, where you sort of got a little bit of a softness to it. If you find that you get lots of mascara on your lid, then just go for a thinner brush. So I'm really going to lift these lashes out here because I want that lift, and then very delicately just extend with what's left. I might even remove some of it, but just extend those lashes underneath. But I want it to be super top heavy. So I'll probably go back in and do another coat on that. Look at the difference. You can really wedge that mascara in. That also just gives you that lovely invisible line. I love that mascara does that. So long as you're courageous enough to take that mascara wand to the roots of your lashes, you know. And I would just do the blinky blinky. Don't wave the wand around your eye, because that does make you move away from it. If you take control and close your eye up and down over the wand, you won't blink as much. Maybe that's going to be life-changing for some of you. Honestly, doing these one-to-one masterclasses has taught me a lot about how I need to explain things to make makeup application even easier. Great. Go up for the next coat here. Because close up, I'm thinking, oh, I'm not sure if I like that mascara. Underneath, I prefer it up. But I know that a lot of the pictures are going to be from a distance. They're not going to be as tight as I am on this camera, showing you every perfect imperfection of my face. So I want a little bit of shape there, but nothing that's going to look like it's dragging my eye down. It's going to break that up a little bit, backwards and forwards, so they're sort of more natural looking. Okay, so now I've gone and done the mascara. You can sort of like take a step back and think, right, is that deep enough in that socket? Could I go a little bit deeper? Just maybe there. Maybe softly. I'm not going to put any eyeliner on. The tendency then is that it becomes a more evening look, which of course you can pop it on. You can add more colour onto your lips in the evenings, but just for the day, maybe you're meeting at like 1 o'clock or something. It's nice to kind of have the lovely textures and shiny sort of feminine tones on your eyes. But if you then think, oh, now I've got to put eyeliner on, etc., it then starts to look very evening-y in a kind of daylight situation. And I mean, listen, obviously I overthink these things because that's my job. But that's the kind of finish that I prefer, that you can kind of get that depth and shape with a beautiful graduation of eyeshadow like we've just done here. And a great wedge and wodge of mascara. And that kind of just gives you the shape that you can have or need. Right, I'm going to go in with the Beverly Hills Flush Balm from Merit, because this is so pretty and so classic. And come on, love this scribble action. Oh, so creamy. Careful not to get too near your eyes, Caroline. I can tidy up my mole in a moment, but I just love how this fuses together a little bit on my nose. I won't take that on my nose because, right, but what we're trying to do, backwards and forwards, twizzle it around, is bring the life back into my complexion, because you're all doing it with me, right? Bringing the life back into my collection by using this kind of like glassy texture. The Flush Balms just kind of give that skin-like finish. So again, against the medium coverage foundation, it just adds that freshness. I know some of you would have probably thought, oh my God, that base is so heavy. And you can see how subtly can bring it back to life. And it goes again with the soft brush, the number 6, just is such a beautiful detail brush. You can just add that in there. And that's really soft and feminine. And that's enough for me at the moment because I've got the strong blue dress, I've put my hair down. I'm going to do the lip next and then I'll see how it all balances out. Talking about Merit and things to have in your makeup bag, like the Lisa Eldridge, what's it called? Is it Seamless Concealer or something? She's obviously sent me something that's maybe before it came out, because it's come off, I'm not sure. Anyway, you know the concealer if you know about makeup. And the Merit, in, what's it called, Perfect Complexion. Let me just have a look. You're probably screaming it at me. Screaming. You're probably screaming the name at me down the lens. My shade is Silk, and it's called the Minimalist Perfecting Complexion Stick. There we go. Great little handbag makeup tricks, I would say. Really, really nice. Always add a little bit of blush and flush because that just picks up your skin. I'm going to also take a little bit of By Terry powder, and I'm going to apply that just over my entire lip. They look quite dry, my lips, but actually they're really soft. Just look a bit just more liney, I suppose, but they're feeling soft. Right, we're going to go in with that lovely lip lifter that I used, the Maybelline one. It's a classic, find out the name of this for you. It's a classic lip tone shape, right? It's called, oh, really sexy, 06 Line Leader. Let's take those glasses off. It lasted very well, and it's super creamy. So I'm filling in that, extending the lip. Underneath. Now look, I've softened it and it's really stayed put. And for a liner, I like that. It's nice if you just want to have a liner to chuck on and add with a bit of balm. But when you want a liner for all day to shape your lips, this is a goodie. So I need to do that to the entirety of my lip. I've chosen a shade by the brand Delilah, and it's called Vintage Rose. This is part of their new Rose collection, a very classic English country garden shade. It's a little bit mauvey. I love that it's not too pink or berryish. It's just really kind of classic. And the texture is super creamy. Made my lips look really big. It's like a nice clean cotton bud. See what difference that makes. Get a little bit more width, a bit more girth on the lips, and a little bit more comfort knowing it's staying put. Lovely. Okay, well, I love the way that that is looking. I'm going to take my hair down and give it a good old balance. I don't think I need any more dewiness in my skin because that is naturally going to come. I'll take a little bit of a step back and see how it works with the dress. But yeah, she'll do. It's soft, it's pretty, it's not too heavy, but it definitely looks like I've made a bit of an effort. Anyway, I hope you love the selection of products and the few tips and tricks that I've shared to create a very soft but pretty, sophisticated makeup that lasts just that little bit longer. Bye for now.